Hello everyone. Today in the store, my attention was attracted by the packaging with these little jellies in them. And that's because they're in the shape of pizza slices. I immediately had the idea to make the same jelly pizza, only huge and more realistic in appearance. After reading the ingredients, it turned out that there was a lot of chemical stuff in here, and our task is to make the jelly pizza as natural as possible. Let's taste test it. It was as if he had just thrown all of the flavors with Haribo bears in his mouth at once. It's very intense. So the first in line is the base for the pizza. We'll make this out of melon. To further extract the juice from it, let's first peel it. Melon peels perfectly, just like potatoes. We put the peeled melons on the opposite side of the table. By the way, we have two varieties of them precisely to get the maximum flavor. The second type is cleaned in the same way. And we continue until we completely empty the boxes. Finally, all of the melons are peeled. We transfer them to the board and cut them in half. Here we've got some seeds inside, so they need to be removed so that they don't get into the juice. Using a spoon, this is done very simply. The next step is cutting them into suitable pieces so that they fit into the juicer. The prepared raw materials will be stacked in front of a board. We continue to process the melon according to this principle. Finally, everything is ready, and you can proceed to the stage with the juicer. Here, everything's simple. We just put the juicy pulp in it, turn it on, and push it through. There was even more juice in a melon than I thought. In just 2 minutes, the bowl was filled. Turn off the faucet and pour the melon juice into a larger container. We continue to pass the melon through the juicer. As a result, we got 30 liters of juice. Let's move on. We will use large watermelon juice to make jelly sausage. The easiest way to extract it is to cut a large hole in the peel. And simply with an immersion blender, we turn all of the pulp into a smoothie. Literally 5 minutes and you're done. We're going to do the same thing with the remaining 2 watermelons. And now just put a sieve on a pan and filter all the watermelon juice with the seeds and the pulp. To speed up the process, we're going to use the help of a whisk. Done. Strain the juice from the remaining watermelons. Done. For jelly olives, we're going to use ripe blueberries. Pour them into a bowl. And we'll turn these into a smoothie using a blender as well. Done. Here, everything is exactly the same way as with the watermelon, just filter it through a sieve. But to get rid of the pieces of the peel, not the seeds. Done. The blueberries turned out to be a really slightly jelly-like mass. Our mozzarella jelly cheese will be made from coconut milk because of the similarity in color. Pour all 6 liters into a saucepan. Well, and the only thing that's left is the greens for the pizza. We're gonna make this out of orange juice. Pour it into a saucepan. Yes, it's yellow now, but we're gonna change it with a green dye. Also, we will add some orange dye to the melon juice for a more saturated color. And a little red dye to the watermelon. And for the blueberry juice, black dye, so that it becomes more like black olives. Now you need to make the taste of each juice more saturated. Since in jelly form, all flavors will become less vivid. To do this, first of all, add some citric acid. And also some sugar. Mix well to dissolve all of the crystals. And finally, the most important ingredient is gelatin. We scoop it up with a spatula and gradually pour into the juice while constantly stirring so that the gelatin evenly spreads out through the liquid and does not gather into lumps. When the mass is thickened, that's enough. According to this principle, we need all of the remaining types of juice. There we go. Now it's time to prepare the molds for pouring. For the side, for example, we use such a hefty pipe. On the one hand, we will install a plug and fix it with a screed. On the other hand, we will pour oil into the pipe. And we will roll it around the entire inner area of the pipe so that the jelly can easily get out. Drain the remaining oil. We send a basin of the melon jelly into the stove. Turn it on medium heat. And we will melt the gelatin, stirring constantly until the mass becomes liquidy. That's it, you can take it off of the stove. While the mass is warm and liquidy, pour it into the pipe. The easiest way to do this is with a measuring cup. We close the second side of the pipe with a plug and fix it as well. Also, you need to fix the pipe according to pre-measured diameter so that the jelly freezes in the desired shape. The cheese is next in line. Melt the coconut-flavored gelatin. After 10 minutes, it's ready, and you can take it off. Fill it into 2 square molds. From the remnants of the white jelly, we will make streaks for sausage. To do this, cut a thin silicone tube into segments. Bend the edge and fix it with a zip tie. Done! You're gonna need 15 of these. They, just like a large pipe, need to be oiled from the inside. Otherwise, it'll just be impossible to get the jelly out. Done! Now they can be filled with the coconut jelly. We seal up the second side. And repeat this with all of the tubes. And also, we fix them in an even position and allow the jelly to freeze. That's it, you can take them out. And squeeze out the jelly just with a stick. It turned out to be a really long jelly worm. We need to get them out of all of the tubes. And take the sausage itself with a hefty pipe. We will also prepare it by sprinkling oil inside. And we string the white jelly worms on a skewer. And we put the watermelon jelly on to melt. Done. Pour it into the mold. And we install the white little jelly things so that they drown in the still liquid in the red mass. Now for the blueberry jelly. We melt it up pretty quickly and pour it into a sauce container. Screw on the lid. To create olives, we're going to need this 3D printed shape. We assemble it from 2 parts and carefully through the holes fill it with blueberry jelly. You need to fill it in all of the things. And there you go, the last one, the green jelly. Heat it up to a liquid state. And you can just pour it out onto baking trays. Let's help it spread out over the entire surface. Now we just have the largest pan with the melon jelly. This will make up the base for the pizza. Therefore, we're going to pour this into a huge round shape. Finally, all of our forms are filled out. We leave them to set overnight with the air conditioner on. The next morning, our jelly froze really well. We take the pizza base out of the mold. And turn it over to the other side. Next, we need to add the side to it. To do this, we open up the pipe with scissors. It is reinforced and very difficult to open. Therefore, we will use metal scissors. We remove the remains of the pipe, and as you can see, thanks to the oil, the jelly comes off perfectly. We transfer the rim to the pizza base. And we put it in its place. That's it, the jelly pizza crust is assembled. Cheese is next in line. We take it out of the mold. In my opinion, it really looks like solid mozzarella. We tried to grate it as we do with ordinary cheese, but it just turned out to be much denser and grates for a really long time. Therefore, let's go to plan B and cut all of the jelly pieces into smaller pieces. And then we'll just put them in through a meat grinder. This will make our job much faster. The resulting grated jelly cheese is laid out on the pizza base. And evenly spread out over the entire surface. Done. Now let's take our jelly sausage out of the mold. We cut off the veins from the outside. We remove the bottom. And just lift off the pipe. We cut the hefty jelly sausage in half. Strangely, there were really no white streaks in here. I guess they just like surfaced. Very sad. For convenience, we're gonna cut the piece in half again. And a slicer will help us with slicing. We're gonna lubricate it with oil to minimize friction. Put the sausage on. Turn it on. And try to cut it. The jelly is so dense that it just stopped the sharp disc of the slicer. Therefore, it was necessary to cut it just by using our hand. With great difficulty, we cut 12 jelly slices and put them out on the pizza. With each slice, it becomes more and more beautiful. Done. Now let's move on to our olives. We take out our balls of the blueberry jelly from the mold. Trim the edge with a knife where the excess jelly has flowed. And squeeze out a hole in the middle. Done. Now it looks more like olives. Now we cut it into slices. We are left with a lot of jelly slices of our olives. Now we just need to spread them out evenly over the entire surface of the pizza. Lastly, we've got our green jelly. Using a cookie cutter, we will squeeze out the shape of the greens. We made several pieces of such a large format and a lot of small ones. We put them out all over the pizza. Basically, this is where our jelly pizza is ready. But there is one problem. In fact, it's just a mountain of beautifully stacked products. And in order for it to become a full-fledged jelly pizza, you need to combine them together. A construction hairdryer will help us with this. It blows very hot air. With this, we melt all of the jelly cheese and all of the ingredients will stick to each other. Now the jelly pizza is finally ready. You can cut off a piece. In my opinion, it looks good. A piece of jelly pizza made from natural fruits. And it tastes sweet and rich. And if this video gets 200,000 likes, then I will make a giant jelly bottle of Coca-Cola. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Bye, everybody!